Have you ever watched and wonder as an eagle soared overhead, effortlessly riding the wind? If only you could experience that freedom of flight, to ride the wind. Now you can, and it's easier than you think. You can escape to the playground in the sky to fly like the eagles. With modern technology, you can be one of the few to experience what it truly means to be free. Now is the time to give your spirit wings by learning to hang glide.
Dreamed about flying as long as I can remember. I literally and figuratively dreamed about flying. It's a lot easier than it looks. A lot easier than it looks. Just like your dreams. That's the best way of putting it. If you've ever dreamed about flying, it's just like your dreams.
Hang gliding adds a new dimension to your life. You will see the world from a whole new perspective. One of endless fun and infinite adventures. Learning to hang glide is the easiest it has ever been. You can go right up into the air with a tandem instructor. You can also learn on a small training hill. Modern hang gliders have evolved into safe and efficient aircraft, and many are stronger than general aviation aircraft. Today's hang gliders are well tested and certified for strength and safe flying characteristics. Advanced pilots consistently soar for hours at a time, riding the updrafts, just like the eagles. Some pilots fly cross-country, covering distances of 100 miles and more. Extreme pilots looking for the ultimate rush can accelerate high-performance gliders to 100 miles per hour. This incredible speed allows pilots to perform aerobatics, the ultimate thrill ride. So, how do you get started? The easiest way to start hang gliding is to fly with a professional instructor. You can enter the air by towing up behind an ultralight, behind a boat, behind a truck, or from the ground. You can also foot launch from a hillside overlooking the ocean, or the top of a mountain. The most important thing about flying tandem is to have a professional tandem certified instructor. Let's tow up behind an ultralight first. This is a common way to learn.
All right, you ready, young lady?
Ready.
Here's Johnny. All right, takes this Doug a little while to get up on speed.
You roll along the ground until the glider has enough airspeed to lift off. This happens at about 20 miles per hour or faster, depending on the wind. Once airborne, you follow the rope that is pulling you forward. You stay level with the ultralight as it pulls you into the sky. At first, the instructor controls the glider, although sometimes, even in the first flight, the instructor will allow you to control the glider under his supervision. After a handful of tandem tows with your instructor, and his okay, you can solo. Truck towing and the boat towing are similar, except one is over land, the other over water. Towing behind a truck or boat is similar to towing behind the ultralight, except you start on the vehicle and it lets the line out as you climb. The vehicle accelerates to create at least a 20 mile per hour or more airspeed over the wings. Once the airspeed is reached, you release the nose from the vehicle and you begin to towing up. The payout winch keeps a tension in the line of 2/3 to 3/4 of your weight. The combination of vehicle speed and the payout winch allow you to easily enter the sky. You follow the line just as you do with towing behind an ultralight. It takes a handful of tows until you control the glider completely on your own, and your instructor gives you the okay to solo. Once you get to the altitude you want, or you are signaled by the driver, you release and are free flying. The other common method for entering the air tandem is to foot launch from a mountain or from a hillside overlooking the ocean. Normally, you leave the ground after a couple of steps. The most important factor is to commit yourself completely until the glider pulls you off the ground. In the mountains, at high altitude with thin air and no wind, you have to run farther to get the glider flying fast enough to lift you off the ground. Once free flying, you notice that the glider can fly itself. The glider is designed to fly at a trim speed of about 20 miles per hour. Trim is the natural speed a glider will fly when the pilot is not pushing or pulling on the bar. If you push the bar out to slow down to 15 miles per hour, you will feel resistance on the bar as the glider will want to naturally go back to the trim speed of about 20 miles per hour on its own.
Okay, now we're going to do what's called a stall. I just want you to take your arms and push all the way out, just straight out, straight. Push, 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 push. Yeah. What do you think about that?
That is great.
Now, a hang glider is designed to recover from a stall every time, okay?
If you pull in on the bar so you are going faster, say 30 miles per hour, again you will feel resistance on the bar as the glider will want to naturally slow down to the trim speed of 20 miles per hour.
Now, we did the stall already. The other way, if you push it this way, we'll pick up speed. It's like adding weight on the nose, okay? So if you want to give that a try, you just push that towards your knees. Go ahead. Now feel how we pick up speed. Isn't that cool? All right.
Oh, that's great.
Remember, if you're grinning, you're winning.
The resistance you are feeling is called pitch pressure. When you feel this pitch pressure, this is the first step to getting the feel of the glider.
If I want to make us turn to the right, I grab the bar and I push our hips and feet to the right. Check it out. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And of course, if I want to turn us to the left, I just push our hips and feet to the left.
Okay.
What do you think?
That's neat.
What we're going to do is we're going to try a left turn, and we just push this hand this way, that hand that way, and push your butt to the left. Look, I'm not touching it. Here it goes. That's good. Go back to neutral where your body hangs naturally. That was all you, girl. And just push your butt to the left. Now look, I'm not touching it. Notice here's one hand and I'm touching you. That's all you.
Oh, wow.
Okay, now take it out of the turn by shifting our butt to the right. What do you think?
Oh, that's neat.
That was all you.
What do I do now?
Nothing. We're going to just do a couple more turns here. I'm going to let you try one to the right. There's the right. You can just keep your hands where they are, but I don't want you to hinder my movement of our bodies, okay? In other words, I'm going to fly it. Okay. I'm going to pull the bar in, and we're going to pick up a little speed. Here we go. How you like that? Okay, we're just going to say hello to Mom and Dad here.
Oh, wow.
Smooth up here. What's our altitude? Let's see. Still 2,000 feet. It's pretty buoyant. Now, we're just going to hug this little tree line here and this cliff. Oh, yeah, this is better than I expected, I'll be honest with you. Little bump there. You felt that, huh? It's absolutely imperative that you hold on to me while we're doing the aerobatics and also while we're coming in for a landing, okay? Okay, I'm going to do a little stall first, and then we're going to do a dive. Then we'll do what's called a wing over. Here we go. There you go. How you like that?
Oh, this is so great.
Oh, yeah. All right. Okay, we're getting a little close to the ground, so we're going to all stop on the aerobatics, and we're going to come in for a landing here in just a few minutes, okay?
On a tandem flight, you can quickly get the feel of what it's like to climb up to the clouds, safely under your instructor's supervision. Here you enter a totally different world, a world where eagles fly, the world of freedom. Coming in for a landing, hang glider pilots use the common aircraft approach of circling in on the landing target. Downwind, base, final. Many tandem facilities have the gliders set up to roll in on the wheels like an airplane. This makes for easy landings. Some tandem teams use the standard hang gliding flare to land on their feet.
It was so awesome. I can't even explain it. Wow. It's the most breathtaking thing I think I've ever done. Oh, and he's a very good instructor.
Was it fun?
Yes, it was a great deal of fun.
You want to take up hang gliding?
Yes.
That girl is a natural.
Some exciting things that whenever.
Stall.
That was great.
Stall the glider. The stall? You like the stall the best?
Yeah.
An alternate way to get into the air is to go to the training hill.
When you dream about flying, somehow you know what it's going to feel like, because that is exactly what it feels like. I ran and the instructor was right next to me, and I took off, and it was like immediately it clicked in my head that this is what I wanted and had to do, because it was a mystical feeling. It's like I could have been 2 inches off the ground or 3 miles off the ground. It didn't matter. It was just the feeling of floating and being off the ground. It was great.
Is this a guy thing or what?
Hang gliding?
Yeah.
No, it's not just a guy thing.
I'll be 56 in June. If I can do it, anybody can.
Unbelievable. I've been flying since 1945. Piper Cubs, Tri-Motor Ford, says you name it, but there's nothing like hang gliding.
When you fly inland, you usually start in the mornings. You can be more certain that the air is consistent and good for training when the sun is low in the sky. Some of the ocean sites you can have lessons throughout the day because the air is nice and steady as it blows in off the vast and consistent ocean. You generally want a slight breeze coming straight up the hill between 5 and 10 miles per hour. The glider setup begins with the glider laying on its back so you can install the control bar. Flipping it over, you spread its wings, put in the battens that shape the wing, and then tighten up the glider. You finish by installing the tips. The next and most important step is to pre-flight your glider by inspecting every part of the glider with your instructor. If it passes inspection, you are ready to launch. Before heading directly to the training hill, we utilize the basic simulator to learn the finer points for controlling the glider.
Okay, we're going to talk about roll control and pitch control again, okay? If you're flying along and everything's going fine and that wing starts coming up a little bit, what are you going to do to correct it?
Okay, what I'll do is slide my body over.
Right,
Back down.
right, good job. Definitely, use your feet. Okay, so all you want to do is just bump over like this and bump back. You see how my feet go over and not my head and shoulders?
Yeah.
Just like that? Okay, if you just want to make a small correction, you're flying along, everything's going just fine, and all of a sudden this wing starts coming up a little bit. What are you going to do to correct it? Oh, nice job. Little bit of a turn. There you go. All right. The important thing is watch your target. If you're watching your target, you do a little bump, and if you're not quite there, do another one to get there, okay? So keep your eyes on your target. All right, pitch control. If you want to speed the glider up a little bit, what are you going to do?
I'll pull in just a little.
Right, ease it in just a little bit, okay? All right, and then you want to slow it down?
I'll let it out.
Let it out, right, perfect. Okay.
Once at the training hill, you begin by running the glider along the ground and feeling comfortable with it. You feel the tug of the harness as the glider wants to lift you off the ground. You are ready to fly on your own. You hang to check the harness along with your helmet. You face down the hill and wait for the wind to be blowing up the hill, directly and consistently into your face. You focus on running hard, looking way ahead at the horizon, and feeling the glider with a light grip on the control bar. When everything feels right, you run hard. You're lifted off the ground. You're flying.
Nice job. Pull in a tad. Nice job.
The secret to landing is to first set up a good approach. Make sure your approach is planned so you are flying directly into the wind on final. You usually want to come in on final with higher speed to make sure you do not stall the glider on final and maintain optimum control as you bring it down onto the deck. The glider will slow to trim speed as it glides along the ground. As the glider slows to below trim speed, it usually feels mushy. This is the signal from the glider that it is time to push the nose up and flare the glider so it stops. Landing is an art you will practice your whole flying career. Modern technology brings us the virtual reality simulator.
You can get all your basic skills down with a simulator, and then when you go to fly for the first time, you'll have much more confidence. There you go. Now relax and let it just fly by itself. Okay. And we'll just fly right into this thermal, and when you hit the thermal and you start climbing, and make a turn to the right, and you'll be able to climb really nicely. There you go. Excellent. Okay, let's fly right on course now. Right towards the middle of the thermal. Okay, Antonia, you need to sit upright now. Put your hands up here. Okay, sit upright. There you go. Hold it out. Hold it out. Hold it out. Hold it out. All right, nice landing.
Once you learn the basics and perform them consistently on the small hills, you are ready to hit the bigger hills for higher and longer flights. As you go to higher mountains, you generally want to fly in the mornings or evenings when the sun is low in the sky, resulting in smooth and consistent winds. Once you achieve a level of proficiency flying in these smooth conditions, you are ready to begin learning how to utilize the upcurrents of air to climb and extend your flights. An understanding of weather is an important topic that should be studied in detail for your overall success as a pilot. Evaluating the weather helps you make sure the conditions are appropriate for the hill you are flying and your skill level. It helps you estimate how strong and gusty the wind will be, how strong and abrupt the updrafts will be, and how conditions may change throughout the day. Learning how to climb in the updrafts is a significant goal for the intermediate pilot. You can climb on rising currents of air called ridge lift, which is created by winds hitting the side of a mountain and being deflected upwards. Flying in this ridge lift, you can hover in one spot or fly up and down the ridge, while staying in the optimum point of lift called the lift band. You can also ride the rising air currents formed by the simple concept of hot air rises. The sun heats the surface of the earth, which in turn heats the air near it. The hot air eventually rises in a column or a bubble. Turning tightly to stay in these thermal columns, you can climb higher and higher into the air. From there, you can glide until you find another thermal to climb up in again.
Thermals you can smell. You can feel it coming, the heat and the smell.
Like when you thermal, there's birds and you can follow the birds.
Thermal flying sets you free to wander the sky and soar like an eagle. So if you want to fly like an eagle, hang gliding can help you realize your dreams. The time is right. The time is now. Live your dreams. Start hang gliding today.